Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today's topic is going to be a little bit about it's going to be a bit about, I guess, the difference between a good critique of a development company and bad critique, or pretty much being cautious. I'm not sure what I should call it, because it's not necessarily a rant video. It's really just observations that I've been making. Okay, so first of all, I'm noticing that people don't understand the difference between you making criticism and being concerned for how a game is going to turn out. There are a lot of games that people are just getting hyped for. I made a video about hype. Go watch it if you haven't, if you have the time to. And I was talking about how that was really killing games nowadays, because people just let themselves get all hyped up, and they think that the game is supposed to be what it wants to be for. They think the game is supposed to be exactly how it. I don't even know how to word it. Like, they think the game is supposed to meet their expectations. There we go. Their expectations to the letter, exactly like how they think that it's supposed to be, right? But what I want to talk about here is the fact that companies can mess up. Okay, I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're an established company famous for making good things. They can mess up, and they often do. A company can have a good streak all they want, but I guarantee you somewhere along that line they have messed up or will mess up. So we have these videos where people aren't even necessarily hating, because I made a video on like hate videos. They're just making observations about these trailers, because I also made a video on that, which are the most misleading piece of crap that these freaking publishers do. They just make these misleading trailers to try and pull you in, and then once you're in, you have a completely different thing than what you saw in the trailer. It's pretty scummy and scammy, to be honest. And now that there are people who make these observations, this is what's scary. These fanboys, this isn't hate, it's just a fact. These fanboys who will just blindly support the company because they're like, oh, I founded a company that cares about making a good game, so I'm not going to make observations. I'm not going to question things. I'm just gonna go blindly along and just accept whatever they choose. I'm not gonna give input. I'm not gonna say a word about how I feel about what's being done. I'm just gonna buy the game. You have to understand, as I've said in previous videos before, it is still a business. These people are still out to make money off of you. They're still out to try and turn a profit. If you neglect that fact, you will get scammed. That's what I'm trying to warn people here. You critiquing a game is not a hate video. What becomes a hate video is when you constantly address the negative points in a game and make it seem like the game has no redeeming qualities. However, if you see something in a trailer or in the gameplay and you make an observation and you state the observation that you have observed, and you make estimations about what you think should be done, that's not hate. That's you being cautious, because you know that at the end of the day, gaming is a business and you can easily get scammed if you're not careful. What do you think COD has been doing for the last, I don't even know, several years with these newer futuristic CODs? They false advertise, they make it seem like the gameplay is going to be let's put it like this. They advertise the trailers like a freaking Windows 10,000 or something, right? I just hear me out on the example. Then when you get a hold of it, it's like Windows, what? Let me think of an old Windows 2000 or something. I'm not even sure. It's completely different. I don't know if you guys can hear that laughing. I hope you excuse me. Thought my fam was asleep, but whatever. It's a complete, utter scam, okay? It's, like I said, these people just, they're out to make money at the end of the day. I'm not gonna act like they're bad people or something. Like, the developers have to get paid. There's nothing wrong with the developers getting paid. What becomes a problem is when they allow the publishers to just straight up mislead people. That's what becomes a problem. I also want to talk about my issues with how people take criticism for games that they love. Okay. So recently there's been a lot going on about so-called hate channels and what's actually a hate channel. I've already just explained it earlier in this video. But I've been seeing on Reddit in the YouTube comment section that nowadays there's just so much negativity for games, and that people making observations and critiquing their observations are hateful and all of this. Like I said, I made a video on hate videos. I know what hate videos are. The point is, these people don't understand that this criticism, this needs to exist. People just do not want to admit that their company that they love so much can do wrong. You have to understand where I'm coming from with this. They refuse to accept that their company can do wrong. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. If you usually find people who love a company, they will defend that company till the end of time. They will make it seem like there is nothing wrong with the company. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. And even if it has been blatantly proven time and time again that that company has anally screwed you over, they will still blindly support that company. Look at Destiny 2. Game has gone through controversy after controversy, and this isn't me hating on the game. This is just me stating a fact. Yet people will just say, but they're changing, but they're doing this, but they're doing that, but they're listening this time, but the game's gonna get better, but this, but that. Completely neglecting the fact of past events released with practically no in-game, released with huge problems towards their multiplayer, released with loot boxes that weren't necessary, especially due to the fact that there's going to be expansions, released with XP throttling, new updates, claiming that they didn't know that that was a bug, and then only to basically release the exact same thing but in a different manner, and then claim it was another bug. That's just an example. People just blindly support that. You have to understand that no matter what, there are always going to be people out there who are going to try and screw you out of $1. I don't know why, I don't care why. But what I do know is that people can't just blindly support that. You can't just not do your research on these things and not make your observations and not give your critiques. And like I said, your critiques don't need to be some 30, 25-year-old man in a chair just ranting about how bad the game is and how there's no redeeming quality until like basically the last 2 minutes of the video. You don't have to be like that. You could just be just like me. Hey, I really respect your company and the games that they develop. But I like to make an observation. Why is a fundamental mechanic in most of your games being taken out for the sake of you just wanting to try something different? You get it? You don't need to make all these profanities and just blatantly swear like someone who lacks self-control. All it takes is just making observations and critiquing them. You don't need to take it as hate. You don't need to take it as you have to be some YouTuber with millions of subs or some clickbait expert to gain views. It's just you talking about what you've noticed. There is nothing wrong with loving a game. There is nothing wrong with loving the developers of the said game. What is a problem, however, is when you think that it is your obligation towards that company that you have found to purchase every title and to blatantly defend them, even if you've noticed that there's something that you don't necessarily agree with. And that doesn't mean that you hate them because they did something that you don't agree with. That just means you're kind of concerned. You're being cautious. That's only natural. But nowadays, I'm just seeing people just support. They don't make observations. They don't consider the fact that these people can mess up and will mess up. It's only a matter of time. And sometimes these same people critique the past games, and now they're making it seem like they didn't say anything about the past games because a new title is coming out. Only then, when the title is released, they'll still make these same observations, claiming that there are things that that should get fixed and that there's things that they don't like. But then, when the time that they should have did it, which is from the beginning, they don't say anything. That is the issue that I am seeing in gamers nowadays. They don't understand the difference between criticism and being cautious. Sorry if I sound out of it. My throat's feeling a bit dry. And I'm kind of feeling a bit tired. Gee whiz. I'll try and just a little update at the end of this video. I don't know exactly when I'm going to have a hold of internet for a while, like I said. So I do hope you will continue to bear with me with just the Brawlhalla gameplays over and my commentary over them, which are about other subjects. But I usually don't want to just have me probably, just sitting in the dark or something while I'm talking about something. I'd rather you just look at something mildly entertaining. But with that being said, that's all I had to say about this topic. Let me know how you feel about what I said in the comments below. Rate the video what you think it deserves. Tell me what you want to see in the future. And as always, I will see all of you in the next video. Take care.